Annie Wood was born in 1847 in London into a middle-class family of Irish origin. She was proud of her heritage and supported the cause of Irish self-rule throughout her adult life. Her father died when she was 5 years old, leaving the family almost penniless. Her mother supported the family by running a boarding house for boys at Harrow School. Life for young Victorian women was bound by rigidity and limited possibilities. But Annie had grown into a self-reliant and independent woman. Reading in the library all by herself, she was groomed to be a self-made intellectual. She loved history and philosophy, but she was particularly drawn to theology. In 1867, at the age of 20, she married 26-year-old clergyman Frank Besant, younger brother of Walter Besant. He was an evangelical Anglican who seemed to share many of her concerns. Soon Frank became the vicar of Sipsey in Lincolnshire. Annie moved to Sipsey with her husband, and within a few years they had 2 children, Arthur and Mabel. However, the marriage was a disaster. As Annie wrote in her autobiography, "We were an ill-matched pair."
I don't think her husband understood her intellectual interests at all. I can imagine him coming home in the afternoon and finding Annie Besant that she's been reading all day and she hasn't done the dishes or cleaned the house, and he's angry, why aren't you being a proper wife?
She thought that the marriage was an avenue to serve God, but her husband never understood her intellectual depth. The first conflict came over money and Annie's independence. Annie wrote short stories, books for children, and articles. As married women did not have the legal right to own property, Frank was able to collect all the money she earned. Within a short period of time, Annie got separated from her husband over religious differences. By now, Annie's perception of God was drastically changed. Annie Besant and Broadlow became household names in 1877 when they published Fruits of Philosophy, a book by the American birth control campaigner Charles Knowlton. It claimed that working-class families could never be happy until they were able to decide how many children they wanted. It also suggested ways to limit the size of their families. The Knowlton book was highly controversial and was vigorously opposed by the church. Annie's extremist colleague thought that she had gone too far. Her estranged husband agreed, and he used the pamphlet to prove that she was an unfit woman to be a mother. After a highly publicized court trial, the court ruled in her husband's favor. Annie resigned herself to the loss of both of her young children. Ironically, in an attempt to help and support poor families, she had lost her own. Dr. Besant was passionate about rights of the women, and she was passionate about labor conditions. Besant's involvement with the match girl produced a 3-week strike that forever changed the labor movement in England. Never before had unskilled workers organized a strike against the management. The strike was caused by the poor working conditions in the match factory, including 14-hour working days, poor pay, excessive fines, and severe health complications. Annie Besant got involved in the situation along with her friend Herbert Burroughs and published an article in her halfpenny weekly paper, The Link, on 23rd June 1888. This had angered the Bryant and May management. In the same year, Besant helped these young women organize a strike against the company. Finally, the company decided to fulfill the demands after the 3 long weeks of heavy strike. This was the beginning of a new ray of hope. But for Annie Besant, this was just one step in a lifelong quest. Annie Besant realized that the society remained unchanged. Ultimately, she wanted to address the root of all human suffering, and she needed a more transcendent path, one that fulfills the needs of the soul as well the body. Feeling dissatisfied with the negative approach of free thought, Mrs. Besant now made research into spiritualism, hypnotism, and so forth. At this juncture, Mr. W.T. Stead, the editor of the Review of the Reviews, sent her Madame Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine to review. As she read the book, it was as if a long-lost vision of truth had flashed through her mind. The new light which she received inspired her more firmly than ever to the service of the world. her approach towards the various evils in the world changed and she began to deal with the root causes in the light of the laws that governs all existence. She joined the Theosophical Society. Meaning of this word theosophy is divine wisdom of God. The society believed that all religion, philosophy, even science could serve as path towards truth. It was a spiritual organization striving for universal brotherhood. Theosophists believed that all humans belong to one family. We are all part of each other.
If there is but one source of life, if there is one life everywhere in the universe, then that life is precious. And to destroy any part of it is to destroy ourselves.
Thereafter, she devoted her life to philosophy. Having spent 15 years dedicated to improving the working and living conditions of the poor in England, Besant now abandoned this cause. In 1894, she moved to India. Here she found spiritual growth rather than material gain. India is mother of religion. In here are combined science and religion in perfect harmony, and that is the Hindu religion. And it is India that shall be again the spiritual mother of the world. By her splendid presentation of Indian philosophy and her undisguised personal preference for the Indian spiritual heritage, she won the support of Orthodox Brahmins to Theosophy. The transformation of the religious life in India, particularly among Hindus, is one of the wonders she performed. During India's independence struggle, Besant became one of the few English champions for Indian home rule. As a result, she once again paid a high price for her beliefs. The British government imprisoned her for over 3 months.
She was a woman who had to have a cause, I think. And that cause of Indian independence, she had a wonderful vision for it. I think she felt that India must reclaim its proper place in the whole family of nations.
Therefore, without a shadow of doubt, one can declare Dr. Annie Besant as one among the pioneers of Indian freedom struggle. Dr. Annie Besant and Sri Jiddu Krishnamurti have been two great seekers of truth. They were both inspired and influenced by theosophical ideals which state that truth is the highest religion.
And as long as they seek comfort, they will never find spiritual comfort, because behind it there is no true understanding of life. And for the understanding of life, you require harmony born out of this vast chaos which is taking place in the life of everyone and in every nation.
Their lives were so completely dedicated to the quest for truth that they were prepared to sacrifice anything and everything for it. The ultimate aim that Dr. Annie Besant ever had was to end the suffering and seek spiritual enlightenment. In 1933, Annie Besant died at the headquarters of the Theosophical Society in India. She wanted her grave to be marked with an epitaph: "I try to follow the truth."
Besant Institutions is a creation of Dr. Annie Besant, a legacy that was started in the year 1918, continued with excellence, and presently there are 7 institutions comprising of Besant Primary School, Besant High School, Besant English Medium School, Besant National Pre-University College, Besant Evening College, Besant Women's College, and Mangalore Srinivasana Institute of PG Studies. Dr. Annie Besant, a pioneer of modern India, she was considered a champion of women's emancipation. She started Besant Girls' School in the year 1918 under the flagship of National Education Society, which was headed by herself as the Vice Chancellor And the chancellor of this society was none other than Dr. Rabindranath Tagore.
Annie Besant's manifold services in the field of Sanatana Dharma, Swadeshi, Home Rule and national education are still cherished in India, her adopted motherland. Dr. Annie Besant was invited to Mangalore to lay the foundation stone for a school hall. More offers of donation for the school were personally made to her on the occasion.
Theosophical Society managed the school till the year 1943 when it was taken over by Women's National Education Society, that is WNES. It was headed by philanthropists like Dr. M. Keshav Pai, Dr. C. Ramarao, who spearheaded WNES and brought it to a modern outlook. In the recent years, dynamic leadership of Manel M. Srinivas Naik, who was our MLA and who was considered to be the architect of modern BEsant institutions, was responsible for bringing this institution to this level.
In our campus, we have a BEsant English School, BEsant National Girls High School, as well as BEsant Kannada Primary School. The one rare quality of our BEsant school is that we give education to all the students who are economically backward. At the same time, they are economically poor, and we give individual attention to these students, and we strive so much that the results of our school also, it's reaching greater heights where they are not able to give on their own from their family members, or either they are not able to afford for the tuitions also, but we have remedial classes after the classes, and at the same time we take extra coaching classes. During the revision holidays they come. Now during the October holidays we call them and we give them so much of help, and at the same time we ourselves we encourage them for all the activities where they are going out and participating in outside inter-school competitions.
In 1966, permission was granted by the government to raise the institution into a higher secondary school and open the 11th standard with one science section and one with humanities as electives.
Our college is ably managed by Women's National Education Society. We have offered PU education since 1972 in arts, science and commerce stream. Our college has celebrated Silver Jubilee in the year 1997. Our college has become co-educational from the academic year 2013-2014.
It was sad that our girls, some of them even rank holders, could not secure admission into the degree courses at girls' institutions in the city, as they had to accommodate those coming from its own or allied junior colleges. This compelled the management to take another daring step by starting the degree college, BEsant Women's College, in June 1977.
1977, our founder Manel Srinivas Naik established this institution to cater to the needs of women of this region. Now we are attracting students from different parts of South Canara and also people from Kasaragod and the neighboring regions. And every year we get very meritorious students. The students excelled in sports and games, students excelled in studies, and all types of students we are getting. We have received laurels in the field of sports and games, apart from BA, BCom, BBA, to cater to the management studies. Definitely our teachers are always with us, and I rely much upon my faculty members, and always they have given us the fullest cooperation. I expect the same kind of cooperation in the coming days also. We have received so many ranks in the university examinations in arts, commerce, management, and also in F&D. And last year also we had one rank, that too the first rank in BA. Dipti Jyoti Dikuna, she bagged the first rank in BA.
I personally have received a lot of support from my college. The college environment has helped me to take leadership, to excel in extracurriculars, and of course to secure first place in the college and fourth rank in the university. So I'm grateful to my college, management and staff for nurturing this institution as per the vision of Dr. BEsant, which brings out the best in us. And I wish you all the very best and many more glorious and successful years to come.
The evening college was open to help those who were gainfully employed during daytime.
ಬೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಮಣೇಲ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಅವರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಹಾಗೂ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ 1976ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆರಂಭವಾಗಿ ಸುಮಾರು 41 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಸೇವಾವಧಿಯನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಣೇಲ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಆದರಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ವಂದನೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಗಳಿಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಕಲಿಕೆಯ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕವಾಗಿ ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹಿಂದುಳಿದಂತಹ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗಿನ ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ CA, CS ಮುಂತಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 5-6 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂತರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾ ಕೂಟಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಫೆಸ್ಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ಬಹಳ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯ ಬಹುಮಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಗೆದ್ದುಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
My association with this esteemed institution goes back to the year 1988 to 1991 as an old student of BEsant Evening College. Honestly, the BEsant Evening College is a boon for those students who aspire their education while earning. And I'm very happy to join this institution as an evening college student, and subsequently I could pursue my LLB graduation, and now I could become a notary public. Fortunately for me, few years ago I approached the management and offered to serve the institution. The management happily accepted my proposal and admitted me to the council of the management. Now I have been given the responsibility of the correspondent of BEsant English School. As the correspondent of BEsant English School, I always strive for the holistic development of every child joining this esteemed institution. I am delighted that the BEsant institution is celebrating its centenary in the year 2017-18. I wish all the success to the documentary film which is being prepared on this occasion, and I also wish every success for this esteemed institution in the future to come. Thank you.
The most outstanding among the many dynamic men of vision and insight who led the institution in the later years was Sri Manel Srinivas Nayak, aptly called the modern architect of BEsant institutions. With him at the helm, the institution witnessed a period of consolidating expansions, which was followed by the present era of confirming excellence under the guidance of Sri Kudupi Jagdish Shanai, the president, and Sri Manel Annappa Naik, the vice president, and other members of the managing council.
ಐರಿಷ್ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಮ್ಯಾಡಮ್ ಆ್ಯನಿ ಬೆಸಂಟ್ ಅವರು ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಆಂದೋಲನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿರಂತರ ಹೋರಾಟ ನಡೆಸಿ, ತದನಂತರ ಅವರ ಭಾರತದ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು 1918ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಸಂಟ್ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಅಡಿಪಾಯ ಹಾಕಿದರು. ತದನಂತರ ಸುಮಾರು 99 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಸಂಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ನಾವು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಶಾಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆವು, ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆವು, ಬೆಸಂಟ್ PU ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆವು. ತದನಂತರ ಈಗ ಬೋಂದೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ 3ನೇ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನಾತಕೋತ್ತರ ಪದವಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ MBA ಈಗ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರ ನಮ್ಮದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಭಾಷಾ ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟರಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾತ್ರವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದ ಶಾಲೆಗಳ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕಲಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. F&D ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಫುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಯಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. F&D ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಮುಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು MSc ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ನಾತಕೋತ್ತರ ಪದವಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಕಳೆದ 10 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ 3ನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ NAC ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ A ಮಾನ್ಯತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 2ನೇ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು 2 ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳು ನಡೀತಾವೆ. ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತರ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಸ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಇಂದಿನಿಂದ 1 ವರ್ಷ ನಿರಂತರ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟಿನರಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗಳು, ಶತಮಾನೋತ್ಸವ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇವೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಶುಭವನ್ನು ಹಾರೈಸ್ತಾ, ಮುಂದಿನ ಜೀವನ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ ಎಂದು ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲೂ ನಾನು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರೈಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಮಾತೆ ಆನಿ ಬೆಸೆಂಟರ ದಿವ್ಯ ಕನಸುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಒಬ್ಬ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಹೇಗೆ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣಳಾಗಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಸಿಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೌಲಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ನೀಡಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮಹಿಳೆಯಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸಮಾಜದ ಉತ್ತಮ ಮಹಿಳೆಯಾಗಿ ಅವಳು ರೂಪುಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಎನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಬೋಧಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಮಣೇಲ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಮೆಮೋರಿಯಲ್ MCom ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗರಿ ಎನ್ನಬಹುದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ MCom ಅನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಗದ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಬೋಧಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ.
The major academic project undertaken by the BEsant institution in this decade was the Professional Postgraduate Institute with MBA as the main course. The new campus was called Manil Srinivas Nayak Memorial BEsant Institute of Postgraduate Studies, a tribute to the memory of the founder president of WNES, Sri Manil Srinivas Nayak.
I am really proud to be a functionary in this prestigious institute promoted by BEsant group of institutions and to take part in the Centenary celebrations.
The BEsant educational institutions remember with pride and gratitude that they have been blessed with the visits of Mahatma Gandhi in 1932 and Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, Poet Laureate, in 1922.
I feel very proud that I have nurtured my research aptitude from BEsant Women's College. Our objectives of BEsant Women's College and my research objectives seems to be one and the same, for the simple reason that our college is helping the marginalized and the deprived students to come to the forefront through various women empowerment initiatives like capacity building. And so the case in my research papers, all the excluded and the deprived and the marginalized segment, I have presented papers in Turkey, particularly hosted by UNO and ILO and ICA, wherein I could make a mention that how the Indian women from the grassroots can come to the forefront through their collective and the organized effort. And not only that, I've also chaired a session in Oxford University, London, way back in the year 2009, which has helped me to present a paper how women can come to the mainstream through their leadership qualities.
Shakespeare also wrote sonnets, but there are differences between a Petrarchan and a Shakespearean sonnet. Both Petrarchan and Shakespearean sonnet consist of 14 lines only. So sonnet is a 14-line poem. Petrarchan sonnet has the stanza pattern changes in a Petrarchan sonnet. Okay, so we go by the rhyme scheme. In a Petrarchan sonnet, the rhyme scheme is ABBA, ABBA, CDC, DCE, or variation of DCE, And in a Shakespearean sonnet, the stanza pattern is AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, and GG.
Rooted in tradition yet modern in outlook, Women's National Education Society, the management of the BEsant institutions have always kept pace with changing needs of the students. They have blazed many a trail, especially in introducing subjects of current relevance in humanities, and have responded to the recent demand for programs in commerce and management. The institutions promote the literary, artistic, and athletic potentials of the student, as well as help them realize their career aspirations.
ಬೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು 100 ವರ್ಷದ ಆಚರಣೆಯ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬಹುಶಃ ಇವತ್ತು 100 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾನಗರ ಪಾಲಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಯರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದುಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಬೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ 100 ವರ್ಷವನ್ನು ಆಚರಿಸುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂಥ ಏನು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹೀಗೆ ಕಲಿತು ಹೋದಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಆ ಬೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ತಾವು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮರಿಬೇಡಿ. ಏನಾದರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗುವಷ್ಟು ಸಹಾಯವನ್ನು ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
I congratulate the team of English department who has taken this initiative to make a small documentary about the history and how we function in our college and how the association works. Being the vice president, I took up this after the initiation of Madam P.P. Gomati, who was my teacher in government college, and she insisted that I should come since the college was taken forward by my late father, Manil Srinivas Naik. The earlier history of the institution speaks by itself, as it had lot of difficulties to take over from Theosophical Society and turn into Women's National Education Society. The college has prospered and gone forward, and the motto of our institution was to give education at a very nominal price to the downtrodden of the society. That was the main motto, and the society totally functions by all eminents of the society who are doing a charitable contribution to the society by way of being the members of the association. So the college had prospered in many ways. We could retain the name of Women's National Education Society as BEsant College, since our main motto was to empower girls, give them good education and see that they are placed in the society. So this is continuously going on, and I am happy to say that the foundation laid by late Annie Besant will come forth year 1918 to 2018. So 2018 we are going to celebrate a centenary year, where we have thought of putting up a new building as a centenary building of our institution, for which our entire team is working on, and this is a small documentary to show that how our institution works. So the other members of the institution also are contributing to this particular thing, and I wish the English department to taking up this initiative and creating a small documentary of our institution and the society and the members of the association, how they are working. Thank you very much.
ಬೆಸೆಂಟ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಶತಮಹೋತ್ಸವದ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಶುಭ ಕಾಮನೆಯನ್ನು ಸೂಚಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯನಿ ಬೆಸೆಂಟರು ಹಾಕಿದ ಈ ಕಲ್ಲು ಈಗ ಬೆಳೆದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರವಾಗಿ ನಿಂತು ಹಲವಾರು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ವರ್ಗದವರಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಣೇಲ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ನಾಯಕರು ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಇವರು ಶಾಸಕರ ಆಗಿದ್ದರು. ಇವರು ಸುಮಾರು ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾಳಜಿಯನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೂ ಇವರ ಈ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಿಂದ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಸಂಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಗದೀಶನೇ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಬೆಸಂಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶುಭವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ.
Non-discrimination by any definition, caste, class, creed, economic status, and social standing has been the cardinal principle of student admission at the BEsant institution. BEsant institution have always remained committed towards the noble cause of true education.